Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you my LEGO custom King K Rool and Master Hand from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Throughout the past few days I've been working on King K Rool, and my Master Hand was a figure that I made a few years back. I found all of his pieces and just decided to give it another paint job on parts that needed some touch-ups. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. So my Master Hand is a figure that I made a few years back. Basically, it's just following a tutorial that I found on YouTube a really long time ago, and it just combines a bunch of white pieces, and at the time I couldn't find enough white pieces, so I ended up painting some other pieces. Also, his thumb and fingers are all movable, because his thumb is made out of a 1x3 piece with a couple flat pieces on top, and his fingers are made out of white Lego legs with a couple 1x2 pieces on top. Also, I put this figure on one of the clear Lego pieces. I think that came out a really long time ago, and that's mostly just because it looks kind of cool, because it looks almost like he's floating. So moving on to pretty much what all you guys probably want to see, my new King K Rool figure. For the most part, this is following the design of Mr. Fuzzy Lego's King K Rool, except I added kind of my own twist to things by changing the arms up and also changing his crown up, along with like some other small details. So I think my King K Rool turned out pretty good, especially for not being in the community for so long and not really actively making customs. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this should have been like the first custom that I started with, as this was kind of challenging to get the sculpt, but I think it turned out pretty good. So how I made King K Rool's crown is basically I took this little goblet sort of thing from like, I think it was a Prince of Persia set that came out a really long time ago, and I chopped off the entire bottom of it, and then I glued it upside down to his head, and then I took pieces of rolled up dried paint and then I glued those to the top. And then after that I gave the whole thing a coat of my gold paint, and then I painted on the black for extra detail. Now moving down to his head, I had a lot of issues getting the sculpt to stay exactly how I wanted it when it came to like his mouth and his snout, but I tried to use a lot of the techniques that I would do previously when I customized. I think the sculpt came out pretty accurate. I also thought that sculpting the eyebrows was kind of tedious, especially the one that's on his bloodshot eye, because it's different than the other eyebrow, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. I also used Mr. Fuzzy Lego's idea of using toothpicks for his sharp teeth, and I think that's a really good idea. Those are just super glued in there and painted with white paint. The sides of his face are also sculpted to show the plumpness in his cheeks, because probably as most of you already know, King K Rool is a very juicy boy, so I had to sculpt quite a bit on him. So moving on to his torso, there's not much going on here. Basically it's just his body armor and the little medallion that hangs around his neck, and the body armor I just painted over with a gold color, which is the same gold color as I painted the crown with. With his arms, there's also not much going on. It's pretty much just the little golden bands around his wrists, which I super glued those on, as well as the claws painted in white on his hands. And I did quite a bit of scaling, especially around this area, and just making sure it looks really clean and nice. And I did the same thing with his head and his legs too. Basically the whole thing scaled. Now the back of him with his cape doesn't really look the greatest, but nobody's really going to be seeing that anyway. As you can see, I kind of tattered the cape up a little bit because that's what his cape is like in Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I just thought it would be kind of cool to just do that. I'm kind of 50-50 about the look because I like it tattered, but I also like it really nice and clean and like one piece. I also have his golden embroiderment down at the bottom. And moving onto his legs, which are probably just the most simple part of this entire figure, is just a couple pieces put together, and I put scales on it. Then I just painted on some white claws just like I did with his arms. Yeah guys, so here's a full 360 view of King K Rool, just so you guys can see just kind of how he's built up and how I did my figure as opposed to Mr. Fuzzy Lego's design. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed today's video, then feel free to drop a like or subscribe, turn on notifications so you get to see when I upload next. Share this video with your friends if you like Smash Ultimate and think Lego customs are pretty cool. Also check out Mr. Fuzzy Lego's channel, and I will see you guys all next time.